Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through all the noise and really get you those crucial insights so you can be truly well informed.
It's great to be here.
You know, it always strikes me how fast trends just seem to explode, appear out of nowhere, really, all over our feeds.
Yeah, the speed is incredible.
But what's really alarming is when some of those trends, maybe they start off seeming kind of harmless, but then they ignite real, actual, devastating consequences in the physical world.
It's a powerful example, isn't it? Often tragic. Shows just how much the digital world impacts, well, the real world. Today we're digging into one of the most chilling examples, the fire challenge.
The fire challenge, right?
Yeah.
So at its core, this is, well, it's terrifying. People dousing themselves with flammable liquid.
Yeah, highly flammable stuff. Rubbing alcohol, nail polish remover.
Even lighter fluid, I read, than setting themselves on fire and trying to put it out before, serious injury happens.
It sounds unbelievable, but it emerged around, what, 2012?
Yeah, about then. And gained traction fast on YouTube. Vine, remember Vine?
Oh, yeah. 6 seconds.
And later TikTok. It just blew up into a pretty significant public health crisis.
And so our mission for this deep dive, it's really tailored for you listening right now. We want to go beyond just the headlines. We're going to unpack where this incredibly dangerous trend came from, really try to grasp the devastating consequences, and pull out the crucial insights from our sources about why. Why do these things persist, even when the danger seems so obvious?
Right. The goal is to give you that critical knowledge so you really understand the full scope of it all.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's start at the beginning. The spark, so to speak, its origins. You said early 2010s.
Yeah, that's when it first really gained notoriety. It was a time when social media challenges in general were just starting to explode, finding their feet.
And platforms like Vine, its short format, those 6 seconds, that seems almost tailor-made for quick, attention-grabbing stunts like this, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect for it. We saw it there first, then it migrated, like you said, YouTube, eventually TikTok. And the stunt itself, it's just applying something flammable, lighting it, trying to put it out. It sounds impossibly reckless.
What's really striking, looking at the sources, is this kind of disconnect from reality. This idea that they're somehow safe doing it.
Yeah, it's almost like a digital delusion of safety. They often film in bathrooms or maybe backyards.
Thinking the tap is right there or there's space.
Right. But completely misjudging how incredibly fast and hot these fires burn. It's a dangerous miscalculation, amplified because they're focused on the camera, on the recording.
And the whole point, just capture the spectacle, get it on video, share it online for likes, views, that fleeting internet fame.
That validation.
These videos that sometimes they have music or you hear screams, even laughter, weirdly, uploaded. And then that peer validation kicks in, the chance to go viral. It just fuels the spread, a terrifying feedback loop.
Which brings us to the question, right? Why? Why are young people especially drawn into this? Chasing that online validation, even when the cost is potentially horrific.
Yeah, what makes them so vulnerable?
Well, a critical factor our sources point to is adolescent brain development. It's biology, really, the prefrontal cortex.
That's the decision-making part. Impulse control, risk assessment.
Exactly. And in teenagers, it's still maturing. It's not fully developed yet.
Okay, so it's not just general impulsivity. It's a specific vulnerability that social media kind of exploits.
Precisely. You look at studies like from the American Academy of Pediatrics, they show teens are way more likely to take risks when peer approval is on the line.
And social media just amplifies that massively. Instant feedback, likes, comments. It's like an engine for that exact kind of impulsive, risk-blind behavior.
You see it in the comments on these videos, egging people on. You won't do it, or this will get you famous.
Feeding right into that desire for notoriety, however fleeting.
And it wasn't just a local thing. By 2014, this had spread globally. We were seeing reports in the US, the UK, other places too.
Wow. So it really highlights the reach of these online trends, uncontrolled reach.
Definitely.
So let's dig into the consequences. The human cost. Our sources paint a really heartbreaking picture here.
They do. These liquids, they ignite almost instantly. The flames can reach, what, over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit?
Incredible heat. The danger is immediate. There's no real margin for error.
None. And even just a few seconds of exposure, we're talking devastating burns. Second, third-degree burns.
These aren't minor injuries. They go deep, destroying skin layers, sometimes muscle.
Causing permanent scarring, nerve damage, contractures, requiring years of treatment, pain management, reconstructive surgeries. It's lifelong stuff.
And the specific examples are just gut-wrenching. Sources mention that 2014 case of a 15-year-old boy in Kentucky. Third-degree burns, over 70% of his body.
Months in a burn unit. Just horrific.
Or 2018, a 12-year-old girl in Detroit, burns on almost half her body. Multiple surgeries, permanent scars.
And what's really staggering is these aren't just isolated horror stories. Hospitals across the U.S. reported significant spikes in burn unit admissions directly linked to this challenge.
Putting a huge strain on healthcare resources, too, I imagine.
Absolutely. And beyond the physical, the psychological impact is immense. Trauma, PTSD, serious body image issues, social stigma from the scarring.
And the financial cost.
Astronomical. A single severe burn hospitalization can easily top $1 million. And that's before long-term care, skin grafts, therapy.
Wow. And families, often uninsured or underinsured, are left carrying that burden, while the young person deals with lifelong consequences for, what, a few seconds of recklessness for online views?
A brief moment of bravado, yeah.
So hearing all that, the really critical question is, why? Why does this keep happening? Why do these flames persist despite such clear, horrific consequences?
Our sources point to several systemic factors. It's not just one thing. First, you've got the social media algorithms.
Right, these seem designed, almost inadvertently, to promote shocking content because it gets engagement.
Exactly. There was a 2020 study, University of Oxford, I think, mentioned in the sources. It found videos showing risky behavior get higher engagement rates.
So the algorithm itself pushes it to more people.
Yeah.
Creates a dangerous feedback loop.
Precisely. Then there's just how easy it is to do, the accessibility.
You don't need special equipment,
Yeah.
just common household stuff.
Flammable liquids, a phone, anyone can try it. It sort of democratizes the danger, makes any bathroom a potential hazard zone.
Turning every phone into a broadcast studio for self-harm,
Yes.
it's deeply concerning.
Yeah.
And then the moderation issue.
Yes. Inconsistent content moderation. These videos stay up long enough to inspire copycats.
Even though platforms like YouTube and TikTok have policies against harmful content.
They do, but enforcement is often reactive. They take things down after they go viral, after they're reported usually, not proactively stopping them beforehand.
So the damage is already spreading by the time they act.
Right, which raises questions about how effective current moderation really is. And finally, you can't ignore the desire for social capital.
Peer pressure, wanting to fit in, wanting to be popular online.
Teens during the challenge often say they wanted to prove themselves or get followers. There was a Pew Research Center survey, 2019, I think.
Yeah.
59% of teens felt pressure to present this curated, popular image online. The fire challenge becomes this twisted, dangerous shortcut to that notoriety they crave.
Okay, so a really stark picture of the problem. Psychology, technology, social pressure, all colliding. Given how bad the consequences are, what's been done to try and stop it? What have authorities or health groups tried?
Well, medical professionals and public health bodies definitely sounded the alarm. Burn units, like at Greedy Memorial in Atlanta, issued very public warnings.
And the American Burn Association.
They reported between 2012 and 2018 a 10% rise in pediatric burn admissions linked specifically to social media challenges. So clear data showing the impact.
Fire departments got involved too.
Yeah, the National Fire Protection Association put out an alert back in 2014 urging parents basically talk to your kids about this stuff.
What about legally? Is there recourse?
It's often limited legally, unless someone harms another person or damages property while doing it. But some schools have tried educational programs.
That seems crucial, like teaching media literacy?
Exactly, integrating it into health classes. One source mentioned a 2017 initiative in Chicago schools. They used real stories from fire challenge survivors to try and deter students.
Using those real stories seems powerful, but you get the sense these efforts are kind of patchwork, not systematic.
That's fair. And federal regulation of social media content is still very limited. You run into First Amendment issues, plus, heavy lobbying from the tech companies.
Which brings us back to the platforms. TikTok, YouTube. You said their moderation is mostly reactive.
Yeah. They do remove videos when they're reported, but that delay, it's often too late to stop the initial spread.
Is there potential for technology, like AI, to help? To automatically flag videos with fire or flammable liquids?
The potential is definitely there, but implementation seems to lag, according to our sources. That Center for Countering Digital Hate report in 2021, it found 30% of harmful challenge videos stayed online for over a week before being removed.
A whole week? For something like the fire challenge, that's way too long.
It's far too long.
Seems like there are missed opportunities. Like platforms could partner with health groups, Put up warnings if you search for a fire challenge. Redirect users.
Absolutely. Those seem like practical steps. The technology exists. It feels like a question of priority, maybe.
So tackling this really needs, well, everyone involved, doesn't it? A multi-pronged approach.
Exactly. Parents have a huge role. Just having open conversations about the risks of social media, emphasizing that viral fame is never worth devastating injury.
And schools, like we mentioned. Integrating digital literacy. Teaching kids not just how to use tech, but how to critically evaluate what they see online. The real-world consequences.
hmm And the platforms. They really need to step up on proactive moderation, using AI, whatever tools they have, to catch and remove this stuff before it spreads like wildfire.
Pun intended, maybe.
Huh, maybe. And public awareness campaigns, too. Amplifying survivor stories run by burn units or safety groups. Those personal accounts can be powerful deterrents.
Right. Because ultimately, the fire challenge,
hmm
it isn't just some weird, isolated trend, is it?
No, it's really a symptom of something bigger. It's this collision point between adolescent impulsivity, the way social media amplifies risk, and this lack of strong systemic safeguards.
And until those root causes are addressed,
Mm.
these kinds of dangerous challenges are just going to keep popping up, keep burning through communities.
Leaving scars, literal and metaphorical, that last a lifetime.
That's a very stark, sobering reminder. And it brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We've really unpacked the severe, tangible costs of the fire challenge, looked at why young people are particularly vulnerable, and the systemic issues in social media and policy that let these things persist.
And it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Considering the profound human cost, the societal cost, just from this one dangerous trend, what other invisible risks are we maybe fostering or just ignoring in our digital lives?
That's a really important question. How do we learn to spot them, address them, before they ignite into the next crisis? A
Yeah.
powerful thought to mull over. And for you listening, we hope this deep dive empowers you to be part of the solution. If you're a parent, talk to your kids openly, honestly, about the real dangers behind the clicks.
For the platforms, it really is about stepping up moderation proactively. And for all of us, just understanding the power we have in reporting harmful content, that click can literally prevent a catastrophe.
Being well-informed, truly understanding the stakes, it really does make a difference. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.